may be seated. We're going to go straight into prayer. Let us pray. Sovereign Lord, we acknowledge that you deserve the glory, honor, and praise. This afternoon, we acknowledge that all things were made by you and for you. And because of the love you have extended to us through your grace, we have been made partakers of your provision. Lord, as we undertake this titling ceremony, we invite your direction on the proceedings. We pray that you will bless every participant and every aspect of this program with your divine wisdom. We pray that the thanks and praises of the beneficiaries will rise up to you like sweet incense because of what this ceremony means to them, and you will be glorified. Lord, we thank you for your promise laid out in the word in Isaiah 65, verse 21 to 22, that says, "They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall not build another inhabit. For like the days of a tree shall the days of my people be." Lord, today we thank you for the prosperity and longevity that these words bring. We rejoice that your word goeth before us, laying the foundation for our homes and families, so that we can truly experience your presence. Your word also promises us your peace, and so we declare that your peace is here with us and with all the beneficiaries. We also declare, Lord, that when they lie down and sleep, they will not be alone, Lord, because you cause them to dwell in safety. Lord, bless our leaders and Jamaica land we love, as we continue to serve you by meeting the housing needs of your people. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Doreen Prendergast, and I am your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon. I'm the Managing Director of the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited. Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Mr. Norman Brown, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, Mrs. Faye Hutchinson, Member of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, and her husband, Mr. Gordon Hutchinson, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Danreed Delaney of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, Members of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, well, Mr. Moreland Wilson isn't here, but we acknowledge him. Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, Mr. George Wright. Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Eastern, Mr. Daniel Lawrence. Ms. Christina Gardner, Senior Director, Housing Management, representing Mrs. Arlene Williams, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. All the senior managers and staff of the Housing Agency present here with us this afternoon, members of the media, and most importantly, the homeowners who represent several developments within the Western region. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, everyone, good afternoon. And thank you for being a part of this titling ceremony today. Security of tenure is vital for any thriving community. It guarantees the provision of basic physical and organizational infrastructure that supports daily life. It also facilitates the movement of goods and services and ensures access to resources. It also fosters economic development, and I'll just tell you some of the ways in which it fosters economic development. It supports businesses so that you can have goods going back and forth easily, and it ensures that you can access these resources. It facilitates inclusivity because when you have a well-designed community, it promotes social inclusion. People can gather in spaces and communicate and build relationships. So it supports inclusivity. It also ensures that there is community cohesion. So when you interact and get to know each other, you build bonds, and you all start to look out for your communities and ensure the safety and security of your community. You also end up protecting the resources that are available in your community, and it makes your communities become stronger. Residents of Westmoreland, you have waited a long time for your certificates of title. Today is your day to relish in your feeling of ownership and the security it brings to truly know what it means to be empowered. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, the management and staff, we celebrate with you and look forward to our continued partnership in our various communities as we work together to build sustainable communities. Without further ado, I'll now invite Mr. Norman Brown, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, to bring you welcome. And he will be followed by Mr. George Wright, MP for Westmoreland Central, and then Mr. Daniel Lawrence, MP for Westmoreland Eastern. Put your hands together and welcome him, please.
Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Director Faye Hutchinson of the Board of Directors, and Mr. Hutchinson, Member of Parliament Mr. George Wright, and Member of Parliament Mr. Daniel Lawrence, Councillor Ian Miles, Ms. Christine Gardner, Senior Director, Housing Management, representing our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Arlene Williams, Mrs. Prendergast, our Managing Director, members of the media, most importantly, homeowners who represent several developments across the Western region. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for being a part of this titling ceremony. This is one of the occasions that at HAJ it gives us great pride in hosting these functions. And we host them because of the great symbolism that it displays. When we are finished today, it will be a transformative thing. You will be leaving here with a document that will confirm that you're owner of a piece of Jamaica and that you will have security of tenure and also to secure that property for future generations. Today marks a monumentous occasion not only in the operations of the agency, but also in the lives of the purchasers who, upon leaving this afternoon, will be proud land title holders. It has been many years since your communities were earmarked under Operation Pride Program for regularization. Consequent on a number of challenges with how the program was administered, many of you would have lost hope and time that your dream of becoming a former landowner would ever materialize. I dare say that the process to get to this point where you are receiving your certificates of title today has been very long, and some would say too long. However, today I must say that through the relentless efforts of the Housing Agency of Jamaica in its execution of its mandate, these communities have become livable with the provision of infrastructure that see them being recognized as orderly subdivisions with paved roads, water, electricity, and sewage. It is certainly through these upgrades that there are splinter titles to be handed out today. With titles becoming available, I must commend the officers of the agency who have worked tirelessly with these occupants to ensure that their compliance with their financial and other obligations are met, so that the collaborative work with the occupants and the agency undoubtedly will lead to the delivery of your titles today. We are doing this not just for your community, but right across the country. And we use this function as well as an encouragement for other members in your community who are not here today, but who have their transactions with HAJ. We have the titles. We don't want to keep them. And a lot of times the balance on your titles are not significant. So you can come in and complete your transaction and get your titles in short order. To the residents who live in these communities who are not receiving your titles today, we encourage you. Our team at the back there at our help desk will be able to provide necessary information on what is to be done so that you can also become the holder of a piece of rock called Jamaica. Today, the HAJ has a distinct pleasure of handing over titles to residents of communities of Seton Hall, Hermitage, Betheltown, Galloway, White House, Whitehall, and Lindilo, who have completed the formalities and now have their names endorsed on the duplicate certificate of title pertaining to the very land that they have occupied for years. Friday, July 18th, marks the dawn of a new day in Jamaica for you, the residents. You can now use your titles, if you so choose, as a springboard, not only to build economic and generational wealth, but also to foster personal development of yourselves and your families. Beneficiaries and stakeholders, let us work together to continue to build Jamaica, one community at a time. And once again, congratulations to all those who are receiving their titles today. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, Chairman of the HAJ and board members, security forces, led by Mr. Dobson. I want to also acknowledge the media, and most of all, the participants who will be collecting their title today. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure once more standing before you, bringing greetings. Today we gather to celebrate a milestone in our nation's journey towards providing shelter and security for all. The Housing Agency of Jamaica has been the forefront of this endeavor, working tirelessly to address the pressing issue of land tenure and housing for thousands of our citizens. For far too long, many Jamaicans live in uncertainty without the security of a land title or a place to call their own. But thanks to the unwavering dedication of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, we have made a significant stride in changing the narrative through their efforts. Countless individuals and families have been granted the opportunity to own a piece of land, to build a home, and to lay down roots in their community. The impact of this work cannot be overstated. For those who previously lived in limbo without the benefit of a former land title, the Housing Agency initiatives have brought a sense of stability and peace of mind, it has enabled them to invest their properties, to improve their lives' condition, and to plan for their future with confidence. Moreover, the value that the housing agency brings to the lives of Jamaicans extend far beyond the realm and brick and mortar. It is about dignity, it is about pride, and it is about knowledge that one has a place in society that is truly their own. It is about the ability to pass on a legacy of future generations and to build a better life for themselves and their loved ones. We recognize the contribution of the housing agency. We also acknowledge the challenges that lies ahead. There is still much work to be done, and we must continue to strive towards ensuring that every Jamaican has access to affordable, decent, and secure housing. But for now, let us take a moment to appreciate the tireless efforts of the housing agency and its team, for work has not gone unnoticed, and we are grateful for the commitment of making Jamaica a better place for all citizens. To the beneficiaries of this housing agency program, I say this new fund, security, and the stability are not just a testament of the agency work, but also a reflection of our own resilience and determination. May your home be a secure of joy, comfort, and strength for you and your family. I say to us here in this gathering, for too long we have been living in informal settlements, and we must commend the government and also the agency for this initiative to ensure that our people have a piece of paper called title. When I was growing up, my father used to tell me, "You're not a man until you have your house and you have your title." So now we can see where we are going, and I want us all to applaud the government and the HAJ for this initiative. It is long overdue, but there is a start, and I am sure that it will continue. God bless you all. Thanks.
I know I'd announced a speaking order, but just to say to you all that MP Moreland Wilson from Westmoreland Western is now with us. So let us welcome him as well. So now Mr. Daniel Lawrence will speak, and then Moreland Wilson.
1, 2.
Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, HAJ Chairman Mr. Norman Brown and Board, Member of Parliament Mr. George Wright and Mr. Moreland Wilson, Councillor Mr. Ian Miles, the security forces, the media, and other distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is truly a pleasure to join you today for this special occasion. I want to thank the Housing Agency of Jamaica for their tireless work in delivering home ownership opportunities to the people of Westmoreland. Today, handing over of certificates of titles is more than just a ceremony. It is a celebration of progress, dignity, and stability for our families. Home ownership represents independence and empowerment, and I commend each of today's recipients for taking this important step. As Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Eastern, I remain committed to partnering with the agencies like HAJ to bring development and opportunities to our communities. Thank you, each and every one. Have a wonderful afternoon. We are here together to celebrate all the love of entitlement of a title. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Moreland Wilson, MP for Westmoreland Western. I'd want to start by acknowledging our Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Norman Brown, the Chairman of HAJ, my fellow colleagues, MPs, George Wright and Danny Lawrence, and I also see the Superintendent of Police and his team here. I greet you, sirs, and continue to do the tremendous work of reducing crime in the parish. You should be lauded for that. And, of course, members from the Ministry of Economic Growth. I see a few familiar faces. Welcome to the parish of Westmoreland, and continue to do the tremendous work that you're doing. Members of the media and the recipients that are here today. It is a beautiful day, and it is a day for you that we will be celebrating with you, and as MP, for those persons from Whitehall who will be collecting their titles today, I am honored to be handing over those titles because I do get the calls, and for those who have been to my office over the past 4 years, we have been going through tremendous tribulations, put it that way, as we discuss getting those titles settled. And I want to highlight and congratulate Mr. Brown and the HAJ for the tremendous work that they have been doing, particularly because we currently have in the constituencies 2 other areas that we are looking at titling. I see Ms. Gardner sitting at the front here. And we have been working and discussing around Paul Island. So it's not just Whitehall that we are looking at. And to give a broader perspective of how important this project is, in the constituency of Westmoreland Western, we have 21 communities that are under this program. And while we are just looking at Whitehall Phase 1, it would have meant that we have some 20 others that are still in need to be addressed. And as the parish of Westmoreland, that is known as a sugar belt, most of the lands are owned by the state. And for that reason, we have a lot of persons that are in informal settlement. And as the Prime Minister would have pointed out in his budget presentations over the years, they continue to do tremendous work as they look to resettle and to put dignity in the household as how persons live within our communities. And in Westmoreland Western, we have some particular challenges that emerges in formal settlements. One is access for the fire services, another for the security services, and all of this poses tremendous problems for the MP when it comes about issuing and supporting the persons living in those communities. So I want to say that this is a job well done by HAJ. The work, I would want to see it continue. As I said, we have some 20 other communities that I would want to see be addressed. And I know that in the third term, they will be probably looking at another 3 or 4 of these communities, and probably even more if the ministry works a bit faster. But as we would have it, today is a very good day. We have the Prime Minister in the parish. I want you all to make him feel welcome and to, of course, congratulate him on the work that he has been doing to give in hope to the hopeless, land to the landless, and prosperity to the people of Jamaica. Thank you.
I want to thank the members of parliament who would have spoken and our chairman, Mr. Norman Brown. We heard about building communities one at a time. We heard about dignity and pride and legacy and prosperity. And we learned about having hope for the hopeful. We're at this point in our program when we will have a cultural item to be delivered by Mr. Samuel Bingham. Put our hands together and welcome him.
Afternoon, everyone. Me see take one of them now. I want more. Where take all of them there? What them there? What them there? Take your title and shake it to the max. Them not want a title. Prime Minister, you ready to go home because them not want a title? Get your title and shake it to the max. Mr. Meredith and him teen upon the chuck. Get a farm. Do the math. Get your title and shake it to the max. Miss Cheryl! Miss Cheryl! Oi! Come here. Me have good news to tell you. You know, she say, title run. You told lie, because Mr. Meredith is a scammer. Look all that good thing with money and thing. And him tell you, title come on. You told lie. Me say, she's Cheryl. You see, July the 18th, hotel coming go. You know who I got there? Tell me who I got there. Bro, God. But I wouldn't him, so. No, Dr. Andrew Holness and him team. You fully. But you see, if you don't take in, you not reach. All right. Let me tell you see, Monday morning, don't play a fool. Go to HAJ. The secretary. Go check in like station there at hotel. But you see, when you go in, the secretary, I smile sweet like East India mango. But you see, when she and Mr. Meredith done with you, Lord God, come like a basic school and you come out. Here, ABC, just do the right thing. And get your title and then do the math. Hey, get your title and then do the math.
Let me see if I can imitate Mr. Bingham. Check your title and shake it to the max. Hey. All right, thank you. Now it's that time in the program, the highlight of the program, when we will have Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness coming to the lectern. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please note I have nothing here to shake to the max. I want to thank Doreen for playing the role of Master of Ceremony. Of course, you know that Doreen Prendergast is the Managing Director of the Housing Agency of Jamaica. And you also prayed. Yes, you seem to be very active in your church. I could tell. It was the sincerity in the prayers, and I'm sure all of you would have heard it. She is well practiced in interceding on our behalf. Thank you very much, Doreen. May I also acknowledge your members of Parliament, Danny, George, and Moreland. I'm happy to be in your parish, gentlemen, and to be amongst your constituents. His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Dannery Delancey, Mr. Norman Brown, Chairman of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, and Ms. Simone Miller. I haven't met Simone as yet. Simone, representing the... Simone is here? Hi, Simone. Representing the beneficiaries and the most important people in the room, the members of the Landilo. Let me see your hands. Landilo, people from Landilo. Yes. Seaton Crescent. Yes. Whitehall. White House. Galloway. And Betheltown. Betheltown. Good. Representatives of the media, members of the security forces who are here, and before I go on, let me give special commendation to the security forces. They are doing an amazing job in Westmoreland in bringing down the crime. I'm sure everybody would agree. Today is a day of immense pride. We are here to advance a vision of broad-based land and home ownership in Jamaica. 86 of you from the communities I've just named, namely White House, Whitehall, Landilo, Seaton Crescent, Galloway, and Hermitage in Betheltown, will walk away from this ceremony with a document that has eluded you and many others for far too long. A certificate of title. Big document. And with that piece of paper, you will walk literally into a new life. You will walk with your head high. You will walk with confidence. Nobody can come and tell you to move from here. And you know, us Jamaicans, we are very proud. Right. So now, the lands that you have occupied, and which in your hearts of hearts you know it's your own, now you have a legal right and the privileges that come with that. The policy of any government, and certainly the government that I administer on your behalf, is to make sure that every Jamaican can have a title to a piece of Jamaica. That's the aspiration, they call it. That's the ambition. That's the hope. I know in the hearts of everyone here, that's something you would want to achieve as well. The road to a title, however, is not easy. Not easy at all. First of all, you have to identify the little piece of land. And to identify that little piece of land, very difficult, but when you do, you have to be able to buy it. Some of us can't buy it. Don't have the resources, the wherewithal. And so some of us have been encouraged, directed, guided to go and occupy informally. It is the case. It is a part of the Jamaican reality. And indeed, in some ways, well, in many ways, I'm being euphemistic, the government has been complicit in the informal and irregular settlement of land in Jamaica. And the excuse is that the process is so difficult. Where the people go and live? How they going to survive? Just go and occupy the land. And a lot of government policies have been, over the decades, crafted on this basis that the general good of getting people to occupy the land outweighs any challenges that may occur because of informality. So that's the thought behind many politicians, and I'm speaking guardedly because I know it's the season that, you know, all kinds of things can be twisted. But as your Prime Minister, and I'm reasoning with you, there are issues in our society that we have to deal with because we have to exorcise them from our culture. So many politicians before me, and I'm certainly not in that category, I am all for the formal and legal settlement of land, and I want to make that process as easy and seamless as possible. But before me and my government, there would have been politicians, and I know as I'm reading the faces here, you know what I'm saying, and though you may fear to nod, you're nodding in your mind, would have said to you, see the piece of cane piece and nobody now use it, man. You go on and go put up your something there. Later on, me sort it out. Is like me telling? I know from this parish because I have many letters from persons from this parish asking me, Prime Minister, just sort out this, sort out that. Putting in writing who tell them to go and occupy the land. You see, I see people laughing here. Because you know what I'm saying. And so I'm not fighting that. In other words, I'm saying I can understand why politicians would do it. Because they are weighing that the greater good is to get people to occupy, and then they deal with the challenges that come with it afterwards. The problem is the challenges come on very rapidly, but nobody really deals with them afterwards. So where do the challenges come from? So they go and occupy the land, then 10 years after, you know, I might be going through and somebody stop me and say, Prime Minister, I am living here for 20 or 30 years, no water. Well, it was never planned with a water supply scheme in mind. You see the road never fixed yet. Well, they may have scribed out some roads, but it wasn't planned. There was no garbage collection route planned. And so when I go into these communities, I don't really want to say, well, you know, it was informal. It wasn't on the plans. The government couldn't budget for it. Sometimes the government don't even know that a community is there. However, the community is there. I am the Prime Minister. You elect me to deal with it. And I am dealing with it. But we must not forget how the problem happened. Because in this current season, the conversation doesn't look at why things happen and how and who is responsible. The conversation is as if the world started in 2016. So in other words, the persons who are competing for power mustn't take accountability for what happened in the past. So my job is to say to you, I am going to deal with your problem, but I would like you to know that I did not cause it. I did not encourage it. I didn't create the problem, but I am still responsible for fixing it. I didn't cause the fire. But I am there now. I have to go out it. It's a reality. All right? And so you have to judge me on how it is done. But I also have to say to you, you need to appreciate how the problem started so that you don't allow it to happen again. So with that context, many of these communities here were started under a program called Operation Pride. I think that the ambition of the program was good. I think the aspiration the program expressed was good. But I don't think it was a workable program in how it was executed. And I have a difference in how I believe land settlement should be done. I believe that Jamaica is at a stage where we should not seek to do development incrementally. Maybe 30 years ago, you could do incremental development to ease the problem, meaning you say, all right, go and occupy the land, then we come with the road, and we come with the water afterwards. But I think at this stage, seeing how incremental development has worked, that you really never get the road, you really never get the water, and it creates more problems than ever, particularly social problems. I think right now when we are going to settle people, settle them fully. And then allow them to pay for it over time. That is the approach of the government. And as I said to another event, and I'll say it to this crowd, and I ask you to think about it, you name me one community, one informally settled community that has originated under my watch as your Prime Minister. Think about it. Tell me one informal settlement that has sprung up, endorsed and supported tacitly by my administration. Isn't that a change in Jamaica? Isn't that a significant change in our country? Think about it. And that is because I do not believe in chaka-chaka development. So they quarrel with me when I say, look, I cannot allow an expansion of informality into Bernard Lodge. I draw a line under it. I know it's a sensitive subject, but if we're going to move forward, let's move forward in order, discipline, fairness, and equity. Somebody has to draw the line. It wasn't popular, but we can stand here today and say we are well on our way on stopping informality. But here we are also promoting ownership. Because that's what you want. Every person who is informally settling don't like the fact that they don't have a certificate of title or something that gives them rights to the land. So, these communities that I named, several of them would have been established through some initiation of Operation Pride. So persons would have been given access to land, and that would be some 20 years or more. But up to today, they don't have title. Some of the communities, the infrastructure is not fully in place. However, the HAJ, the government's agency to promote the regularization and formalization of communities, has been investing in developing these communities. We spend billions of dollars each year trying to regularize many of these informal settlements, but the truth is there are so many informal settlements that it would require a massive budget to be able to address all the issues for all of these communities all at once. But we do as much of it as we can, and as our economy grows, we put more resources into it. Don't just pass over this statement. As our economy grows, we put more resources into it. Because the fundamental issue here, my friends in Westmoreland, is that you cannot provide the services for the people unless you build a strong, robust, and growing economy. Make no mistake about it. And the only government that has provided the citizens of this country with a stable, robust, resilient, and growing economy is the Andrew Holness-led administration, that government that I administer on your behalf. They can say all kind of things, but they cannot contest this fact. Uncontestable. And so, the HAJ has been tasked with doing the upgrades. Now, today we are handing over titles because for the people who are benefiting, it's, remind me, Doreen, how many titles in all you have? You have 50 titles here, but how many in all you have? Over 7,000 titles, and I'm gonna say some things about that. So we could make 7,000 families titled. But some of you owe some money. That's problem number one. Problem number two, some of the lands are not settled in terms of the surveying. Some of the lands have been surveyed, but since they have been surveyed, other people move on, and so we have to go back and resurvey. Because now you want road access, so we may have to move a fence here or shift something there. So there's always some work to do to bring the land up to a state where it can be titled. But let's talk about those titles where is the money is a problem. So, some is big money. I'm not going to say that. So we talk about the big money ones. But some titles are for small funds. $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. And I don't know if you have that figure, Doreen, as to how many titles have a balance of $150,000. 60, they were sold for that, $60,000 maybe 10, 20 years ago or more. So here's what we're going to do. And I've told the chairman, so listen out carefully. It's part of our manifesto. I have said to the chairman, examine your database for all the titles that are under $150,000 outstanding. And we are going to give an amnesty. So that will, I'm certain, give a significant number of Jamaicans access to their titles. And I also use this platform to say to others who owe over the 150, come in and start paying. Let us settle this and get all the titles out there into your hands. You know why? Because the title gives you access to financing. Once you have the title, you can go to your bank and get a loan and start a business. It helps, but it gives you the security. So that's one thing we're going to do to support our ambitious Jamaicans, our deserving Jamaicans who want to have their title. But while I have your attention, if you allow me for a few more minutes, just to point out that, there's a lot of talk about land ownership and access to land. A very sensitive subject. Very sensitive subject. Because it has its roots in the dispossession of our people, coming as far back as the plantation colonial era. But if we're going to build our society, we have to build a society based on rules and fairness. And we want every Jamaican to be able to get access to land in a rules-based and fair system. Because we have seen what happens when the access is given without any rules. Politicians, I tell you, and I'm a politician, so I know them very well. There's an exigency and an urgency when it comes on to elections to say, boy, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. But they don't oftentimes sit down and think out everything. So they have good intentions, but they don't oftentimes sit down and think out everything that they're doing. But you will notice with me that I'm very deliberate. I choose every word very carefully. And anything I say to you is because I thought about it. And more than thought about it, I wrote it down. And I researched it myself. And I have very good advisors. We can solve the land access issues in Jamaica. But to do that, you must first solve the infrastructure problem. You will find that when you put in the infrastructure, first of all, when you cut the road, you put in the water, and you put in the light, you will find that the people occupy the land in a much better way. And you will also find that people are more willing to invest in the land, and a mortgage market will develop because the land becomes saleable, and therefore that allows you to purchase the land with a small deposit and pay for it over time. And that's how every developed country, every developed economy works. So even, people in the lowest income bracket are able to get a piece of land that suits them because the government absorbs the infrastructure cost and creates a market on which land is available. And governments can also say, this piece of land is for persons who are in this income bracket and the price is this, come and buy land. So there's a lot of things that government can do, but you have to first of all make the land marketable by putting in the infrastructure. And so that's been our policy. So when you see we build a brand new highway going east, going around to Portland, when you see we are building the highway going around Montego Bay and coming into Westmoreland through the Long Hill, what do you think is going to happen there? A lot of land is going to all of a sudden become open. That's the strategy. That's the thinking. Anyway, we also recognize that the process of getting titling is difficult because the land issue is not just for persons who are looking to buy land. The land issue is also a person who have land but no title. And a lot of you inside here have land, almost everybody in here. Family land. Or you're living on land that has been in your family for generations, but no title. You say, So it's about 5 acres, you know, where the boundary. That big tree, go down by the river, then that rock, and you define. Now, what we have done, we have put in a new way of titling, where we've put in an adjudication council, and it is called the systematic registration of land. It was done under my administration. It is an innovation in titling, and it has facilitated up to June 30th, 2025, so between April 1, 2021 and June 30th, 2025, we have issued over 12,240 titles, 12,240 new titles under this system of systematic titling. So you hear a lot of talk about they're going to do, we do it already. Done already. In operation. We have declared certain areas for systematic titling. If you talk to the people in St. Elizabeth and some other parishes in St. Catherine, you will see that they are being titled. We're going to expand the system now to take in areas like these. So people who are already occupying land can be a part of the systematic registration. So you will get your title. And the good thing with this is that we pay for the land surveyor and the other fees. And over time, you can pay back for that. So you can get your titles. So I just wanted to put that out there because I see all kind of promises being made. And you may not know that that promise doesn't need to be made because we have done it already. So I hope that by virtue of this presentation, you have been edified, elucidated, informed, and that you now have a better understanding as to why you should continue to choose Jamaica. God bless you and thank you.
He came channeling Mr. Vegas, HAJ, no chaka-chaka. And he laid out a strategy for all of us that will lead to stability and robustness. And of course, he gave you the icing on the cake, and amnesty. And amnesty, make the best use of it. Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. All right, now we are at that point in the program where the real reason why we are here will be celebrated. And so I'm going to invite Ms. Ormsby to come forward and lead the program from here so that we can have the official handing over of the certificates of title.
Sasha. These are for him. No, these are for him. Yeah? Yeah, man. Do it for me. I'd like to invite Lot 398 Landilo Pen, Eric Wellington, K. Marley Wellington, and Kimari Wellington. Prime Minister. Kamisha Hay. Lot 103 Galloway, Kamisha Hay. No, man, that's all right, that's all right. Yeah, man. Your title? The title? Okay. Hey. Wayne. Hey. Wayne Parry, Lot 103 White House. Kamisha Hay, yes. We got the proof, sir. Yes, sir. No, Wayne Parry. Yes, he is. Tamar Scott, Rudiana Waugh. Constituency. Errol Allen, Mrs. Hyacinth Frew Wade, 212 White House. And then never do it by member of parliament. Yeah, man. Me just making cut cross lines. Here you go, sir. Yes, sir. Here, sir. Requires Samuels, Marvel Ray, 263 White House. No, come darling. No. Marsha Gale, Lloyd Bartley, 110 Whitehall. Gillette Campbell Blair, Dolores Barnes, Richard White, Lot 111. Where's the person? Jeremiah Brown, 138A Whitehall. Of course, the person is here. Yeah, man, they're here. Elroy Murray, Marvet Murdoch Murray, Break Keisha Moncrief. This should be interesting. I said this should be interesting. Lenford Lewis, Euphema Lewis, 188 Whitehall. Where's the other one that I gave you? That's it? No. Where is it? Lenford Lewis? Lenford Lewis. Both persons are on it. Colin Frew, 231 Whitehall. And Opia Harrison, Laurie Harrison. Person's coming. Yes. She's coming. Yes. Opia Harrison, Laurie Harrison. Yes, I called. Oh, I must apologize. Thank you, PM. Yes, sir. No, we have others, but I'm inviting the MPs as well, sir, to assist you. Oh, you know, you pull you up. It's in that order. All right. Simone Miller, Lot 561, Landilo. Logan and Samuel Bingham, Lot 194, Seaton. Oh, shake it. Thank you, MP Wright. Now, MP Daniel Lawrence. Lot 16, Clive Blackwood. Beverly Goslin. Ricketts. Mrs. Ricketts. Lots 61 and 64, Betheltown. No. Yes, she is. Here. White House, no. All right. Juliet French, 264. Miss French. Karen Richards, Henry Blair, and St. John Titus. No, come. Oliver Wright, Nicholas Wright, 521 White House. Come, sir. O'Neill Rowe, Debian Blair, 526 White House. Janet Banks, 467 White House. Patricia Shaw, Patel Wright, Lot 609 White House. No. Thank you, MP Lawrence. MP Moreland Wilson. Dorothy Legister, Lisa Legister. Worrell Osborne, Oshani Osborne. Shauna Burrows, Carol Campbell. Carol is in the picture. No, Carol. Vivian Campbell Peterkin. Vivian is coming. Charmaine Poiser, Osborne Poiser. And finally, Sanya Forrester and Mia Forrester. MD? Thank you.
Thank you all again. We just went through the handing out of the certificates of title. And I am gleaming, so I can imagine those who have received their certificates of title. Let us put our hands together again and clap everybody. And thank you very much, Miss Armsby and your team. You have worked very, very hard to pull this one off. Thank you. And now we will move the vote of thanks. And we're going to invite Miss Simone Miller from the Land Dialogue community, a beneficiary, to bring the vote of thanks. Put your hands together for her.
Thank you. Prime Minister Dr. Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Can you be quiet, please? Let us wrap this up, and after she's through, we'll have some refreshments. Please be quiet. Person at the back.
Prime Minister Dr. the Most Andrew Holness, Mr. Norman Brown, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Dannery Delancey, Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, Mr. Moreland Wilson, Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, Mr. George Wright, Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Eastern, Mr. Daniel Lawrence, Ms. Christina Gardner, Senior Director Housing Management, representing Ms. Arlene Williams, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and other senior members from the ministry, Mrs. Doreen Prendergast, Managing Director, Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, other senior managers and staff of the agency, members of the media, most importantly, the homeowners who represent several developments within the HAJ's Western region. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today we gather not merely to conclude an event, but to express a profound sense of gratitude to the individuals and institutions that have contributed to the advancement of housing within Westmoreland. This vote of thanks serves as a recognition of the collective efforts that has brought us to this juncture, a point where we can celebrate progress and look forward to a future of continued development. First and foremost, our most profound appreciation extends to Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. His unwavering commitment to national development, particularly in the realm of housing, provides the overarching framework within which our local initiative flourishes. His leadership and vision are instrumental in shaping policies and allocating resources that directly impact the lives of our citizens. We also extend our sincere thanks to the Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, Mr. Norman Brown. His strategic guidance and oversight are crucial in ensuring the efficient and effective operation of the agency, enabling it to fulfill its mandate of providing affordable and quality housing solutions. Their dedication to good governance and responsible stewardship is deeply appreciated. His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Dancree Delancey of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation deserves our gratitude for his commitment to local governance and his understanding of the specific housing needs within the parish. His collaboration with the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited is vital in ensuring that housing developments are aligned with the overall development plans of Westmoreland. We also recognize and thank the members of Parliament for Westmoreland, Mr. Moreland Wilson, Mr. George Wright, and Mr. Daniel Lawrence for their advocacy for their constituents and their ability to bridge the gap between the national agenda and the local realities are invaluable. Their dedication to representing the needs of their communities is deeply appreciated. Our thanks also goes to Ms. Christina Gardner, Senior Director, Housing Management, representing Mrs. Arlene Williams, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and the other senior members from the ministry. Their involvement ensures that the housing initiatives are aligned with the broader economics and social development goals in the nation. Their expertise and support are essential for the successful implementation of housing projects. We express our sincere appreciation to Mrs. Doreen Prendergast, Managing Director of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, and to the other senior managers and staff of the agencies. Their tireless efforts, dedication, and professionalism are the driving force behind the agency's achievement. From planning and development to management and maintenance, their commitment to excellence is evident in every aspect of their work. We also acknowledge the vital role played by the members of the media. Their objective reporting and insightful coverage of housing development helps to inform the public, raise awareness, and promote transparency. Their contribution to the public discourse on housing is invaluable. Finally, the most importantly, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the homeowners who represent several developments within the HAJ's Western region. They are the ultimate beneficiaries of this collective effort, and their satisfaction and well-being are the true measures of HAJ's success. Their trust and confidence in the Housing Agency of Jamaica are deeply appreciated. This vote of thanks is a testament of power of collaboration, dedication, and vision. It is a recognition of the many individuals and institutions that have contributed to the advancement of housing in Westmoreland. As we move forward, let us continue to work together, building on the progress that they have made to create a future where every citizen has access to safe, affordable, and quality housing. We offer our sincere gratitude to all.
Thank you very much, Simone. Before you leave your places, we have about 5 or 6 recipients who came late, and they won't leave this venue without the Prime Minister giving them their certificates. So we're going to accommodate them. Please allow us. Thank you.
Thank you, MD. Lot 476 White House, Zane McPherson. Zane McPherson. Ricardo Roden, Tevin Roden, 262. Juliet Campbell Blair, Dolores Barnes, and Richard White. Juliet Campbell Blair, Dennis Allen Lafayne Blair, Herfa Bloomfield Demar Harvey, on behalf of, yes, sir. Purple. Owen Burnett, 253 White House. Gillette Campbell Blair, Dolores Barnes, Richard White, Lot 111 White House. All right, that means that person has left. That's it. Thank you, PM.
Yeah? Mr. Prime Minister, we're asking for a photograph with the beneficiaries. Beneficiaries, come forward quickly. Let us see what can be done.